you had what did you say you had to do?
What do you mean? Like as far as?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh no. Oh, I did just have a fucking awesome tonic from Valentine Coffee.
Tonic?
Bro, it was espresso mixed with tonic, which I didn't know was a thing, but dude, that's the whitest thing ever out there is Valentine's, and it's one of the most proud things I think we should be. Like, the way that white people have taken avocado and toast is almost artistic. They took guacamole basically and then put like smoked trout on it and like
there's like
apples.
all kinds of shit. It's basic as shit. But guess what?
What up?
You know what I'm gonna say?
We started.
We are on, people. What's up? Welcome back to the Middle Ground Podcast. I'm your boy HL. I got my boy
Alec. What up?
You gotta be a little faster with that. We're gonna work on that. Sure. But we are back here. This is episode 4, Quattro, whatever English or whatever language you speak. Say that. But we are here. Hey, first off, we want to start off. We want to say thank you so far.
Yes.
We want to say thank you. This is only the 4th
100%.
episode, you guys, but you guys have been fucking showing us mad love. Love. Like,
love it.
Go ahead. You speak on it too. You can speak on it too.
Thank you guys. You keep doing what you're doing. Just keep listening. It's all up from here. I think you'll see us grow. Yeah, you'll see us grow and get more comfortable with all this and
it's just gonna get better.
This is awesome.
It's gonna get better and better and better. We're just gonna keep growing. So grow with us. Keep listening to us. Hopefully we won't bore you out of your freaking mind. So
and the universe did not want us to record today. And I just want to let y'all know we recorded. There was a moment where we almost didn't.
Yeah, we almost didn't.
But we're not going to let the universe tell us what the fuck to do.
Because the show must go on.
The show must
always go on.
I think that was good too, because like we woosawed. We did very good. There was some things that happened today that we could have handled much worse, and I think we handled it pretty well. So
yeah, I had to deal with the police, so I'm here, so that's good. Look at that, I made it, people.
I did text you and say like, yo, if I need to run and record wild shit,
I saw that.
I wanted you to know
yo.
that like. Part of me was kidding, but like there's definitely a part of me that's like, you make sure to call me if I need to fucking run over there. I've been doing bleachers, bro. I'll run quick.
And I appreciate that. The good thing is though is that I have my girl on the line, so
nice.
I always gonna have a witness.
Bro,
I don't give a damn.
I'll be Mr. White Privilege. I'll run over with my cape and everything, bro. Be like, sir, no.
Oh, speaking of that, bro, so you won't be able to do that anymore. So now
I can do it from 8 feet away.
8 feet away. So that's a new law. You saw that. It's an Arizona state law where apparently you cannot film them from at least within 8 feet. You have to be at least 8 feet away. And I thought that was a little extra because they was like, oh, well, you got to be 8 feet away for safety. And I'm like, damn, COVID was only 6 feet.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, true.
Like, damn,
yeah, that's a whole nother thing, but yeah.
Like
here's the deal. I think 8 feet is prudent because shouldn't be in the cops. 8 feet is not that far. Like, 8 feet is still pretty close to be actively filming. Now, actively film, I'm all about. Because you don't want to get yourself shot. You need... Just stay out of the way, but record. Stay vigilant, stay recording, do all that stuff. But 8 feet away. Plus, I think you're underestimating my white privilege, bro. It goes way past 8 feet. I promise you. I promise you. Okay.
But this is where the issue was for me because I'm looking at it like
this.
Just
kidding, Mom.
I hear what you're saying about like the whole, like, oh well, 8 feet doesn't seem like that far. But hold on, this is the kicker. What if you got to be 8 feet away from the cops? So if the cop rolls up on you, now you're no longer 8 feet away. So now they can play that game with you and go, oh, you can't record me. You can't record me. You can't record. You see the slippery slope this is going to go down?
You just have to get don't have to stop recording. You just have to get away from 8 feet. So that's where I'm zooming. And I don't think.
And do you think really think this is going to play out like that?
I think that you can record from fucking far away. And I think that cops are going to be held accountable, more and more accountable these days. I think that all of this discussion is good. First off, let me just say, I think cops have a fucking hard ass job. I don't think I could be a cop.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you know
we
what
all
I mean?
know that.
But
they got to deal with the shittiest people in society.
The shittiest people,
like all day long.
Not only the shittiest people, but you have to remember, cops are dealing with people on like the worst days of their lives. When you are approached by a cop, like today, you're dealing with people that are having the worst day of their lives. So, but I also think that if cops are expecting us as regular citizens to adhere to all of their stuff, all the rules, to not get shot, right?
Right.
If we are expected to do that, then the police, in my opinion, need to be held to a higher standard, right? So, and again, I can't remember if we discussed this on the other ones, but to me, and this is maybe an unpopular opinion, but defunding police departments is not the way to do that, because that takes away. I think we need to be more vigilant on who we let in and the training in which those people get, because with better training and better what's the guidelines as far as like vetting systems on who we're getting in there psychologically, you're gonna have better police. If we defund, that's like defunding the DMV. Have you ever been to the DMV? It's not efficient. And if you defund a government thing like that, it's not gonna get more efficient. So, it's like,
I feel what you're saying, and I honestly, this is where people might get ticked off about this, but this is where I say I do think that's a dumb idea. I think that the whole defund, it's like, okay, I get that cops are shady. I get that not
some
all
cops.
Right. Hold on.
My bad.
Yeah, I got this.
I
got this. No, but he's right though. Like, it's really not all cops. It's really not. And I know people want to say that. I will say this though. There is a lot of I'm trying to think of the word. There's a lot of issues in the police force that are not being addressed, that are causing these problems, that need to be addressed. Now, am I gonna sit here and say like, listen, the cop thing is just one of those things where it's just like, it's definitely not all cops, but I feel like the cops that have done wrong need to be held accountable, and the problem is that they're usually not.
Right.
And that's the problem that I think is the biggest issue, because they always protect themselves, and so does the government.
Yep.
And so that's where I think the
biggest
issue
game
lies.
ever.
I also hate how people think that. I hate that people think that "fuck the police" is basically saying like "fuck all police," because if you know what the song, if you're getting it from the song, which is an NWA song, if you actually go listen to the lyrics of the song, they're telling you exactly why they're saying "fuck the police"
and the historical context. If you know the historical context, that was literally right in the middle of the huge Rampart District scandal, where you have huge police corruption. It's basically why Biggie was killed. It's the movie Training Day is based off one of those guys. Like, there was I didn't even know that. Wild police corruption. There's a great movie called City of Lies that was shelved for like 4 years. I have my own tinfoil hat conspiracy as to why it was shelved, but it's with Johnny Depp and Forrest Whitaker, and it's literally about the Biggie murder, and it basically shows the direct link between the LAPD and Death Row Records. Basically, Death Row Records had off-duty police officers as security.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And they were basically like, a Rollin' 60 was beat to death at a like Death Row show, and the off-duty cops basically watched it happen. Then the guy that they think basically killed Biggie was essentially hired by Death Row to kill him, okay? Because there was the Biggie and Tupac thing. People don't realize it's not just East Coast versus West. That was a direct gang fight. That was the Southside Crips who is beefing with the MOB Pyrus. The Pyrus were the ones that were with Death Row Records. So it was literally a Blood vs. Crip 90s shit. Tupac got involved when he shouldn't have, and it was some like crazy street shit that went down.
I think the biggest thing with Tupac is that he was trying to play a role that he couldn't play.
Yep. He was an artistic guy that was friends with gangsters, but he was not a gangster. Yes, and that's
what I feel like the biggest thing is. A lot of people sit there and go, oh, Tupac, thug life. Like, I'm not saying that he wouldn't fight somebody. Like, I'm not saying that, like, if somebody stepped to him...
He fought the guy that murdered him.
What?
Right? The guy that killed him, right, supposedly, is Orlando Baby Lane Jones. He's dead now, but he's the guy that is... Famously, there's that fight at the Tyson fight where they jumped that guy.
Oh, yeah, I remember that video. But that's what I mean, though. Like, it's not saying that he won't, like, fight a guy or, like, he won't protect himself. But what I'm saying is he wasn't really about, like, he wasn't a gangster. Like, he wasn't in a gang. Yeah. He wasn't, like, associated with anybody on that level. So, and just like what you said, he was basically, he was just more like, it was a business relationship. Right. Let's just say that.
The people that he was Suge Knight associated with the Pyrus. And so all the security on Death Row were Bloods. And and it was wild. And when Biggie would come over to LA, him and Puffy would hang out with the Southside Crips. Now,
that whole thing's weird.
It's crazy.
I don't
That's
know.
why like Biggie had C Gutta. Biggie's like cousin or his like best friend. C Gutta was like one of the first New York Crips.
Oh, I
It's
don't
wild.
know.
This shit's wild to me. It's
Them
just,
niggas
it's
is
crazy.
dead. So
Not
that's all I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
at this point, I don't even try to like argue about it anymore. Like, people are like, oh, well, this person did this, and there's all these conspiracy theories, and I'm like, that's cool and all, but
Well,
they're dead. I mean, it was really just gang shit.
It was gang shit,
and
it
they
was,
just so happened to be famous.
Well, and it was perpetuated by the media and all that.
Oh,
but
definitely.
the other thing too, that the Biggie
source.
thing, that's why I brought up that City of Lies, is if that comes out, so those are still both open cases, right? The reason that they do that is if you have an open police case, the public's not allowed to look at any of the evidence because it's not closed. So they have a bunch of evidence that would basically indicate the LAPD in the murder and cover up of one of the biggest hip hop stars or artists of all time. If that came out, that would literally end one of the, probably I think it's the second largest police force in the country. If not, I'm sure China is probably the world, but New York and LAPD are the two biggest. And it's like, if that came out, you would have the domino effect. And so I don't know why the movie was shelved, but it was shelved for like 2.5 years. It's available on Prime now. Everybody go watch that. Biggie's mom is in it. Biggie's mom is at the very end of it. And I feel like she wouldn't be in a movie and co-sign it if she didn't think that it was true. You know what I mean? That's my assumption at least. So
I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
The Biggie and Tupac murders, like, I mean, they're there. They're one of those mysteries in life, I guess, that we
not
still
mystery.
talk about.
When I lived in LA, according to my friends I met out there, everybody knows who killed Tupac. It's not a mystery.
All
But
right.
either way.
So we know.
Yeah.
All right.
You can look it up on YouTube. It's not a mystery anymore.
Yeah, I know it's not a super mystery, but yeah, I think what.
I was gonna say, well, speaking of hip hop, because we don't want to talk about just hip hop. I love the feedback from you guys, by the way. I had plenty of people tell me they don't even listen to hip hop and they still liked our interaction with it, which is what I love. But you and I were talking about how we don't want to be just hip hop. The problem is hip hop is like a huge part of both of our lives. So it's gonna come up. You know what I mean?
I get that.
Have you listened? And I haven't like dug in, but I listened to it on the way here, the new Joey Badass album.
No, I haven't listened to it. I'm behind on new music right now.
Me too.
I'm behind. So
Me too.
I haven't really listened to
I haven't even finished Kendrick.
Stuff.
I haven't even finished Kendrick, so I'm behind. But
yeah, I finished that one. I think
it made me think that. And again, I hope I'm not repeating myself, but I think it's dope that, because how old are you? You're only a couple years older than me, right?
Don't ask me my age.
Yeah, but exactly. All right, but we're around the same age.
I'm 82.
And like, right? Okay, so the thing, the cool thing about our generation is that, like, to me at least, Tupac and Biggie, we can sort of claim, but that was more of like our older siblings. Like, I was only 9 when Tupac died, or when Biggie died and Tupac died, 9 or 10, right? So my generation, when I was in high school, was more like 50 Cent, Eminem, Nelly, and so that's what I grew up with. Whereas I look at, so that's like our generational music, the voice of our generations, I would, in my opinion, Joey Badass, Kendrick Lamar, TDE kind of as a whole. I like, you know, and people like that where it's like we're that in between era where it's like we're almost a little too young for Tupac, we're a little too old for some Lil Uzi, even though I still fuck with that new stuff, but it's like Kendrick Lamar and Joey Badass to me are good representations of like our generation.
I'm still confused on Lil Uzi Vert. I don't know what he's doing. He's got the diamond in his forehead. What the fuck is that? You're a Pokemon now. I don't fucking know. He's weird to me. He's got a couple of songs that's okay, but
he can really rap, which is frustrating because if you look at his old shit, he actually raps.
Well, he's a they now.
Oh, he is?
He's a they them. Just so you know. In case y'all didn't know, Lil Uzi Vert has changed his pronouns to they them. So he's a they now. So
I feel like that takes away from actual like
we have
transgender people, doesn't it? I mean, maybe as like just a straight white guy. Again, this is what this podcast is about, saying maybe some potentially out-of-pocket shit. But I have friends that are transgender, and I look at them as a her or a he, however they want to be addressed. Like that's how I perceive them, right? Mm-hmm. And when someone like Lil Uzi Vert, who maybe I'm just assuming, but it seems to me like it's more of like a attention grab, where it's like I think there are really people out there who are in their minds a female trapped in a male and a male trapped in a female, right? And so when somebody like Lil Uzi Vert says it, to me, it just like takes away from the real.
Well, because you know everybody's got pronouns now. Everybody's doing the pronoun thing, and that's why I think, and I hear what you're saying because I'm the same way with like Demi Lovato. She's one of those ones where she changes her pronouns every other week. And I'm like, girl, like, and here's the thing. We're not saying we're not respectful. I'm very respectful of your pronouns, whatever you want to be called. I will address you as such. But I will say this: don't you kind of look at somebody a little bit weird when they just constantly changing their pronouns? Now I get it, self-discovery. You can make up all these things, say, "Oh, well, they're trying to find themselves, discover themselves." Okay, fine. But then if that's the case, I don't feel like you should be really putting something out there until you
found
like.
it.
No.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Or at least stick with what you have put out there until you solidify, okay, actually, I identify as this.
And definitely don't get pissed at everybody else for not being able to keep up with your personal shit.
Right, because it can be confusing.
Yes.
But it's not, again, and see, this is where we have to be okay with talking about these things. Because I feel like nowadays you can't even really talk about it. Like, if I was to just say what I just said right now around other people that weren't, I don't know, privy to, I don't know, level-headed like us or whatever, they're just hot-headed or whatever, they're going to go off on it.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to think like, oh, well, what are you saying? What are you saying? It's like, no, I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. I'm just saying that you're being confusing.
Oh, yes.
When you're constantly changing the pronouns all the time, it's like, okay, so this month you're he, him, and then next month you're they, them. And it's like, I need to know stick with something. At least give me 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
like,
a lot.
Stick with it for at least 6 months. It's just a weird ass situation. But while y'all are figuring out that and all the sexuality, Nick Cannon has had yet another baby. I think this is number 37.
He has so many kids.
No, actually, I'm just kidding. It's 8.
Wait, I thought it was
his 8th kid.
I thought it was double digits.
No, he's at 8.
Him and Elon Musk are both like 7 and 8, I think. Right?
Elon Musk has a lot.
A lot, and it's with like different.
Wait a minute. I think I saw that, but I was like, or no, I saw that his dad
has
slept with his
like stepsister. Yeah.
Like he raised her, and then he's like married to her now, or dating her.
That definitely happened.
And had a kid.
Yep.
They had a bro.
Yep.
Y'all kidding me?
Yep.
Like, I hope y'all seen this shit. I came across it. I didn't dig too deep because I was like, you know what? I saw the headline and I was like, this is just...
Dude, elites are weird, and they always have been historically. Like, look
so what was they rich from? Like, besides, I'm not talking about what Elon. Like,
no,
was they rich before Elon?
Yeah. His parents are like in the diamond or oil or like something. Like, his dad is, and they're from South Africa.
Oh, you pushing blood diamonds?
Yes. So something like that. Where
that's why you got your money.
Yeah.
He got them blood diamonds.
So it was like, it was like one of my favorite new comedians, Stavi, talked about it, and he was like, dude, Elon Musk, don't even get me started. He's like, dude, that guy's from like the most racist place in the world. He goes, South Africa literally said, fuck shipping them, let's just go straight to the source. I'm like, dude, he's right. Like, that place literally just stopped being segregated like in the 70s. Apartheid was 70s, I think. Yeah. Bro, that's wild.
I don't know.
That's wild.
Elon is he's just a weirdo.
I don't mind Elon. That's not to shit on everybody from South Africa, but it's a wild thing to think about.
When you
look,
would get that?
Here's the deal. It's just like when you look at, I'm into history, right? So I like that shit, and like South Africa's wild. Like, if you look at Africa, it is in Africa. It's the southernmost tip, and yet for years it was ran. Yeah, but South Africa is ran by Europeans. That's weird.
I get that, but I was like, you were like, it's in Africa, and I'm like, well, yeah.
Well, I know, but
South
that's
Africa.
I know, but that's like that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a wild place. Like, you look at Ethiopia, for example. So I'm Italian. When you go to Ethiopia, they love Italians because we're looked at as, apparently, and I need to dig more into it, but when Italy was doing their whole little conquering thing and colonizing, apparently they didn't fuck with Ethiopia too bad. Like, when they left on very good terms. And so when you go there, it's like the cultures are kind of mixed, right? You'll see it in food, you'll see it in things like that. Whereas, like, you go down to South Africa and it was literally Dutch people just fucking moved there. And it was just like, this is ours. I don't know, it's wild.
I'm really wondering how we got here.
I don't know.
Because I was talking about Nick Cannon's baby. And I'm like, we got here.
Oh, because Elon Musk.
Oh, okay.
Elon Musk
I was
has
like,
8 kids.
We ended up all the way over here. I just think it's odd how he keeps having kids. And I think it's not the fact that he keeps having kids. I hate how it seems like he does like the same rollout. It's like an album rollout. He has to do the pictures. He always does the pictures on Instagram that shows that she's pregnant. They always take pictures together. And then, then it's like when the baby comes and they take more baby pictures.
Is it with a different girl too, or no?
Yes, dude. He's always...
He said, though, that doesn't he have like some weird disease where he literally is... He like half jokingly, but I think he was serious, that he was like trying to like leave his mark because he has...
Oh, no. He thinks that he's... Okay, you have to go look into it, but I've heard some things from him about how he thinks about like relationships and monogamy and all that, apparently they have this thing called open monogamy or some shit. And I was like, but if it's open,
That's not monogamy.
Exactly. But that's what they've termed it. They've coined this term open monogamy or some shit like that. And I was like, but you're really trying to justify, like, what
just
you're
having
doing.
Like 7 different girlfriends.
Yeah, because he has all these. Literally every kid is never with the same girl,
and
like,
I'm sure that he doesn't want them plowing other dudes.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like that's probably why it's not poly or whatever it's called. Poly.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because poly would be like you both can fuck.
Yeah, but you never know. He might not give a shit.
He doesn't seem like.
Maybe he might be one of those ones like you can't have a baby with nobody else.
Or
he might be on that weirdo shit.
Or once I pop out a kid with you, then you can fuck whoever you want. But he wants to make sure 100% that kid's his.
He's like, make sure I fuck him first.
Yeah. Well, he got in trouble too because that one, he was reading I don't know what book it was, but it's who's the member of Public Enemy, Griff, who like says some like pretty like black nationalistic like type stuff, anti-Jew kind of on the. Who's the famous? Farrakhan. Some Farrakhan stuff. Like Nick Cannon got in trouble because he said some like wild.
Oh yeah, that was a while ago.
That was a while ago.
He got canceled for like 6 months.
For a little bit. Yeah. But I just think that he's definitely in some. He's got his own wavelength of thinking.
He really does, but I'm surprised that he bounced back from the Jew thing because I really thought he was done. Like they really took all his shows off. He was gone. And I was like, wow. But then like 6 months later, I'm seeing Wildin' Out all over the place all over again. They're like, oh, new season. And I'm like,
everybody loves Nick Cannon. That's the thing. He started on Nickelodeon and like, you know what it is? He started because he's rooted in all of our childhoods.
I find it weird that you say that because it's funny because he gets a lot of hate online. He gets a lot of hate online, but yet his shows are like, they got high ratings, it's still on the air. Like, Wildin' Out has been on the air for years. And I'm seriously thinking to myself, like, if everybody hates him.
They don't.
Then why exactly?
You know
I feel like
is?
people be bullshitting. I think it's groupthink.
He's the black Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it was like everybody was shitting on Guy Fieri, and then it's like, bro, if you really think about it, Guy Fieri's the fucking best. Like he gives free promotion.
It's crazy how rich he is.
He's crazy rich, but like his show is free promotion for small businesses.
All of his shows. What do you mean his show? He's got I just mean like
Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, his biggest one that he's well known for. So like. His job was to literally go out and just promote, which is dope. And like, there's literally no reason to hate on this guy, but there was. And then, but no, and there's at least because I work in the restaurant industry. From everything I've heard, he's awesome. And so, and everybody that I talk to genuinely is like, they fuck with him. But again, online, he was one of those guys that was easy to hate. And I think the same with Nick Cannon. I think we can roll our eyes at Nick Cannon, but
like the Chris dude. What's the Chris dude from Guardians of the Galaxy? Chris
Evans? No, Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
I love Chris Pratt.
But he's another one. He's another one that gets all this hate online for like no reason.
Like,
and he's like,
he's super Christian.
He's not though, and he spoke on that. He actually came out and said that he doesn't understand why everybody thinks that he is.
Well, because
he was like, I actually am against like structured religion. He's like, I'm not into this shit that everybody thinks I'm into.
His famous quotes though were always about him like praying, like thanking God first. And so like,
okay, yes, but I think people took that and made it a much more extreme thing. I mean, people get on the fucking Grammys and go, I pray to God, thank God for this. So it's like, I feel like people took that and ran with it in the sense of like, oh, well, he must be this super, and he's a white guy, so I get it. He's this white American male look.
And I think he had ties to, there was that time in the world, that political time where it's like, if you were, especially if you're a white guy and Christian, if you weren't overtly anti-Trump, everybody just assumed you were pro-Trump. And so I think he got associated with, I know that was my bad. He got associated with that, and so I think that was probably drawn into, because
it probably was. I just feel like a lot of the hate that people get online is unnecessary when it comes to certain celebrities. It's just like, why? Like, you're just hating on this person for no reason. Now, somebody who definitely deserves all the smoke that they getting. You had some pink sauce lately?
Pink sauce?
Are you fucking serious? You don't know about the pink sauce?
No, wait.
Are you Bro, you have not, okay. He don't know about the pink sauce. I don't know how you don't know. So this lady on TikTok who was selling pink sauce. in this bottle. It was like a condiment that you could put on like chicken, fries. You can put it on anything, right? It's like a condiment. We don't really know what it is. It's just called pink sauce. Apparently, she was selling it on TikTok for $20 a bottle. No FDA approval, no fucking testing on it, no
She's
none of this
just making
shit.
it in her kitchen.
She made it. She even basically made her own nutritional facts.
Love that.
She typed in her own nutritional facts. People were talking about, she couldn't even spell vinegar right.
You'd love
She
that.
fucked up vinegar. Her fucking serving sizes, the servings for it was like 777 servings. So if you would have did the math with the amount of calories on the bottle versus how much is in the bottle,
it's like 3 million
it
calories.
was like 14,000 calories for the whole bottle.
I bet it was so good, though.
Dude, no, it's not. People started buying and they started getting sick as shit. People were throwing up, getting sick. Some people even went to going up to the hospital. So she started getting backlash for this because people started noticing like, okay, so it's not FDA approved. Every bottle of pink sauce is a different tone of pink.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
That's it, exactly. Now also, I'm just thinking to myself, bro, how many times have you seen somebody, just a random person saying, I'm selling this condiment on TikTok. You have never seen it anywhere else. And you think to yourself, I'm going to go buy that.
You gotta understand, food is the enemy now, which is why I haven't heard of this pink sauce. But 366-pound me, I'm telling you right now, would probably buy some food.
If
off
you
TikTok.
saw it, you would probably be like, nah, because bro, it's watery looking. It's like, it's just gross. It's pink sauce.
Well, then honestly, then those people deserve it. Everything
no, they
got.
They do. But this was the kicker, though,
It's Darwin.
bro. I'm gonna tell you the kicker, though. So this girl is really dumb. I don't normally just call people dumb, but she came out against the backlash and she was like, well, I'm just want to know why everybody keeps saying that. Why is my shit not FDA approved? I don't sell medical products.
Ooh.
Bitch, it's Wheezy F, baby, and the F stands for food.
Yeah.
FDA, you raggedy bitch. Like, are you serious right now? How are you even selling anything at this point? So at this point, like the video, she actually made a video saying this. She really was confused as to why people were asking her about it being FDA approved. Because she's like, I don't sell medical supplies. I never said it was good for your health or anything, or that it was going to help your health at all, did I? And I'm just like...
In fact, you said it was like 14,000 calories. So, yeah.
That fucking part. But the fact that she's saying that she doesn't sell medical products...
Yeah, that's weird. All right,
weird?
lady.
That
was me being nice.
No, please say what you want to really say. That's what the point of this podcast is for. Because like I said, you're fucking stupid. I'm just gonna say it because everybody else already said it, dude. Like F, like I think it was trending. F in FDA was trending because of her.
I love that.
Because she really thought that she had to be selling.
Again, the internet's
some kind
undefeated.
You said what?
I said the internet is undefeated and always will be.
It sometimes is. It sometimes is. So that's the issue with that. I can't believe you did not see that because it's been like literally she's been getting like her ass ripped up online for like a week.
I have been I've been trying to be really, really good with the food stuff. I got off track there for a little bit.
Trust me, bro. When you see it, ain't nothing about it that's gonna make you say, you know what? I'm hungry and I want that.
I just was looking away. I have been really bad. I ate really well. You know what? This is something I want to talk about. I ate really shitty the last couple weeks, but. Which like fucked with my head a little bit. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But here's what I want to discuss, all right?
Oh.
I sent this to you, and luckily you didn't look at it because I want your genuine opinion, okay? So I went to this Mexican food. It's a Mexican food restaurant, okay, at the end of the day, all right? It's up in Kierland. Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to say their name because I don't really want to give them any sort of hype, okay?
Yeah, no, we don't do that.
So.
For money, though.
Yeah, but not even this place for money. So
well, it depends on what you're about to say.
I went for a friend's birthday. And so I'm in a group chat, and like in the group chat, it's me, a bunch of girls, and then one of my dude friends. And like the girls know me well enough to be like, hey, Alec, by the way, this place has a dress code, right? Fair enough. At least they know me to be like, hey, what are you wearing? Now, I literally, it was in something like this, but they sent me the dress code. Now, they're younger, and so I don't think they have, and you know, white girls from North Scottsdale. So again, I don't think they've seen it, but you and I talked about it. Where like Old Town is notorious for like secretly excluding black people from certain places and doing it by outdated kind of racist rules. Like one of their rules is no Jordans. It's only at a few different spots. But their thinking basically was like, hey, if there's a group of young black guys, at least one of them is gonna have Jordans on. And you're not just gonna leave your buddies at the front of the place. So therefore they all have to go somewhere else, right? That's been going on since early 2000s, okay?
Right.
This place dress code just reminded me so much of that because check this out. So again, this is a Mexican food place. Dress code is no excessively baggy clothing. Pants must be worn at the waist. No shorts below the knee. Nobody wears that right now anyway. No attire containing
shorts.
Yes, all day, all day. No attire containing profanity or otherwise deemed offensive by the management, which leaves that shit wide open. You know what I mean?
Right.
No athletic attire or jerseys. No brimless headgear, bandanas, beanies, etc. No backwards or sideways hats. Hats must be worn forward. No sunglasses after dark. No backpacks. No electronic smoking devices. No negative attitudes. Okay, or behavior of offensive language. No plain white t-shirts or otherwise oversized t-shirts extending past the mid-thigh. No sleeveless undershirts and no construction boots. So basically, they don't want any black person from 2003 showing up there because they basically just described a Nelly music video. Nobody wears tall white tees anymore. Nobody's wearing jean shorts below the thing. And I'm like, you're telling me, and the prices for guacamole and chicharrones, it was $28. The cheapest thing on the menu were 3 potato tacos that were $26.
Potato tacos.
Potato tacos.
The fuck?
You're gonna tell me that based on this dress code,
potato tacos. Stop
you
right
guys,
there.
Yes. Well, no, potato tacos are good. That's like a Mexican thing. It's Papa's. Yeah, it's a thing. Either way, you're gonna tell me that you're gonna basically turn away my black friends, and I'm not allowed to have a negative attitude in your place. Like, fuck this place. So I was not a fan. It was very expensive. They had appetizers that were elote. You know what elote is? It's corn.
Yep.
Probably cost them $1 to make. It was like $48 for elote.
That's because you eating in Scottsdale.
It was North Scottsdale too. But again, like just you and I were talking about the outdated, weird ass rules. Like they're not even hiding it here. Am I crazy?
Yeah, no, I mean, I see what you're saying.
No, oversized white t-shirts.
Yeah, no, I get it. I also hate that it's like directly pointed at black people too, because
it's old.
It's like when you read that, that's what people are gonna start to like think of in their head, and I'm like, I hate that because I know plenty of white people who wear all those things.
That's me. I got kicked out of Jordans, Scottsdale all the time because I was the one wearing Jordans.
And first of all, Jordans are expensive ass shoes, so Scottsdale should be happy with that. I mean, shit.
Yes.
The Jordan shoes are expensive now. Not only that, but also everybody fucking wears Jordans. There's a reason why this man is gonna be rich forever.
Yeah.
Everybody's wearing fucking Jordans. Dude, I even seen now they're starting to wear Jordans with their suits.
Absolutely.
That's like a style now.
To weddings.
I seen whole ass professionals on TV wearing whole ass suits, 3-piece suits, and then you get out of your shoes and wearing Jordans.
Jordans are like $500, $4,600 for a pair.
That's depending on which edition you
get.
And that's depending on how rare it is. I mean, you could get some that are like up there.
My whole point to this was that, as you said, it's outdated. Like, it's not just black. You can tell that this was made by someone who is outdated, who looks at the world like it's 1992, right? Like, that's not a thing anymore. But you can't tell me that they didn't have some.
Oh, there's definitely, I mean, it definitely has like drips of racism all over it. I mean, I could definitely see that. I just think that, honestly, it's like, see, this is where I go back to saying this. Like, a lot of people don't understand this about black people. Like, we see fucked up shit all the time in life. Like, every day we see some shit that could be offensive, could be hurtful, could be all this stuff. And this is why I tell people all the time, like, people are like, oh, you're soft, or, you know, why are you getting offended? I'm like, bro, I'm black in America. I can scroll online right now and see some shit that's gonna be racist towards black people.
Right.
You know what I gotta do? Skip past it. You just gotta keep moving forward, because at the end of the day, I know where I'm at.
No, 100%.
And that's the thing, is like, it's almost like I expect it to a degree.
Don't you think it's good though that
I don't like it?
Don't you think it's good that white people maybe are noticing it?
Oh God, yeah.
Like, this is something I think
that definitely. That's when it's gonna start to change, though.
Right.
Because if we say something, see a black person saying something, we can't speak up, because the minute we speak up, it's race card this, and you're pulling this out your ass, and everything to tell me about my own feelings and how I should feel about this situation. That's why we can't. It's like, we do it, but we don't. Nobody ever hears us until a white person jumps in and vouches for us, then it's
But
like,
I don't even think it's vouching because
okay.
but if you look back at like
No,
look
what
back
I'm
at
saying
civil rights,
is
because there were white people involved in that.
fuck
stuff
that.
Too, you know?
I'm talking about now. I'm seriously saying I've seen this way too many times. A black person can say the same fucking thing to a person, but the minute a white person steps in, they can say verbatim what the black person just told them, and everybody's like, oh, okay,
It hits a little harder, yeah.
Now we hear you, and it's like, but why didn't you hear me when I said it in the first place? So
No, that's
just one of those
frustrating,
things that we gotta, like, you gotta keep mindful of. Like, I know you don't see it like that. You may not. You may see it.
I see what you're
but
saying.
you may not. But you're not gonna initially see it from the viewpoint that I do.
No, and I never will. But what I'm saying is, I think it's at least a good starting point. I think I was hoping that you can see the value in that. This is some shit that I didn't notice before when I was younger, and then when my friends put me on to be like, bro, that's why when you go to the Mint and Suede, it's just black people, and you go to these, it's just white people. It clicked, and so now it's like, bro, I noticed that shit, and so I try to put more people onto that because it's like you said, it's probably frustrating for you because you're like, bro, of course it's like that. I've noticed it for years. We don't.
Right, and that's what I say. I think it's great.
I'm trying to get it out there,
right,
and
that's what I appreciate. I do appreciate that, white people are starting to notice it, but again, it's like it's still a lot to go, and I'm not satisfied yet. Like, I'm glad that y'all starting to notice it. Like, I'm not even hating on it. I'm super glad that that's happening. But at the end of the day, I'm still a black man in America. Yeah. And if it's not that, it's gonna be something else. It's always gonna be something else. And that's why I was like, but I do, like I said, I'm not shooting it down. I do appreciate it. And white people, please call out racism. If you see it, call it out. If you don't, I mean, hey.
It's more of a class. Like, it's been said in so many great movies and great quotes, stuff like that. But it's like, literally, the world is a class system. And it's like the most dangerous thing in the world is for white people and black people to get together and start doing shit on the same page. The elite doesn't want that. And it just so happens that right now the elites are a lot of old white people. But like, really, it's like power. Power is human. And whoever is in power doesn't want to give up that power. And whatever they have to do to keep it like the way it is, they're going to. And so, like, if they can segregate us and split us up and do all this shit, that's why this Middle Ground podcast is good, because it's like you turn on CNN, you turn on Fox News, it's not, you talk to most people and they're not extreme. I've got family that watches Fox and family that watches CNN, and yeah, they get on their rants, but for the most part, 90% of it, they're in the middle. They might have a couple views that are a little right or a little left, but I think the majority of the US is somewhere in the middle, and there's just so much toxic bullshit out there right now where it's like,
it is.
There's no middle ground. There's no like
Roll
talking
credits.
points. You know what I mean? It's like, we can't have this. So yeah, I don't know. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about for sure.
I know it's a sad thing to see, but I'm glad. Like I said, I'm glad that people are recognizing it. Another sad thing that I saw is the Choco Taco is no more.
I saw that.
Did you get one? You need to get one before they're gone.
I have to, like,
I know you're on this diet thing or whatever, but it's one Choco Taco for the last time.
I think the Choco Taco will be like the Twinkie though, because I don't think that'll just go away.
Oof, Twinkies are gross.
And yet
I don't
they
know
still
who
didn't let it
eats
die.
them.
I don't know either, but they didn't let them die. There are more flavors now.
Yes, there are, and I noticed that. Like, they have a mixed berry, banana.
First off, who the fuck do you know that doesn't like Choco Taco? Like, tell me one fucking person that.
Only because I don't eat peanuts. Only because.
All right, but
if I did, I would eat that shit.
It's so good, and so it's not gonna go away.
I hate that I don't eat peanuts.
They need
sometimes.
to make one that's no peanuts, because you know what? That's
I wish
true.
the fuck they would.
All they would have to do is not do this.
Oh my god! Or put something else in there instead. Like, put like some cookie crumbles in there or some shit.
Oh, if they stay out of business, that's our next venture. If this podcasting doesn't work out, Choco Taco 2.
We're gonna pick up the Choco Taco.
They
might bring it back.
Everyone loves ice cream.
Everyone loves ice cream, but you know why they dropped it? They said it's because their other because it's under Unilever or whatever.
Yeah,
that brand,
evil corporation.
Right, some evil. So they got like all these other brands, like the ice cream truck.
Yep.
So basically, they have all those other things. They said that their other products picked up in so much more demand, and the Choco Taco, nobody was eating it.
The Choco Taco is messy. Its design flaw is kind of weird. Okay, so think of eating a regular taco, right?
Okay.
There's a point where when you eat the taco, like you get to the middle, it shoots out the end.
Okay, but I'm thinking it's ice cream though, so it'll be more solid, right?
Or no, because at that point it's melted, and so once you're in the middle and you've been holding it, not only does it shoot out, it now shoots out all at once, and so you've got fucking ice cream
Oh, okay.
everywhere.
See,
but
I
you
never
gotta
ate
be
one,
a
so there you
professional
go.
fucking eater and be smarter than the Choco Taco and eat it like a regular taco, because what a FFK, former fat kid right here, what I do in any taco situation, whether it's Choco or regular, is when you get to the middle, right before that other end's about to split, you fucking flip the
it
taco
and
over
eat the bag.
and you eat that. But
Bro.
that's why I don't eat tacos of any kind in public, because I gotta eat that shit. Bro, most of the time, honestly, most of the time when I'm eating, it's like a strip club situation. It's the same thing where
What?
I don't want people looking at my lap dance face, right? Like if I go and get a lap dance, if I get a lap dance
face?
yes, there's a lap dance face. A sexy naked girl is grinding her body on me. I can't control what my face looks like. It probably looks gross and weird, and it's probably some,
Oh, you're talking about your face,
my
not their
lap
face.
dance
Okay.
face, yes, like it's probably got some like Bill Clinton underlip biting thing going on. Like I don't want people looking at me, right? Because I can't
Let's use
control
Bill
that.
Clinton.
Okay?
That's not a good reference.
Same way when I'm eating something wild like that, like chicken wings or a Philly cheesesteak, like I know I look like a savage when I'm eating like that.
Oh
I
gosh,
can't
you're one of
be-
them.
Absolutely.
Get this man some napkins.
Yeah, so I just don't eat like, and plus I can't eat like that shit anymore anyway, because like I'm on my health kick. I did
Okay, but
bleachers the
Choco,
last couple
you can
days.
have one more Choco Taco for the road. I mean, it's
Dude,
going away. Like you're never gonna be able to get one again. Well, at least until.
Dude, you'll be able to get chocolate tacos.
You think they're gonna bring
Yes,
it back?
and if they
Okay.
don't, there's gonna be some off-brand.
Okay, we're
somebody's
gonna
make
record it right here. We're
Yeah.
gonna put it on record. He thinks
Yep.
he thinks Choco Taco will come back.
Yeah.
At some point, I'm gonna put myself on the line and say I don't think it will.
I think it's gonna
So we
come
will
back
see
in
who
one
wins
of
this
one
bet.
of two ways, though. I want to let you know.
Okay,
I think
hold on, let's
a
see.
Choco Taco. I don't think we'll leave. It'll be like Twinkie. It'll be like, all right, let's revamp it. Even if it goes away for a little bit, it's coming back.
You think so? Okay.
Yep. Or if it doesn't, their demand for Choco Taco will be there. Well, someone else will come out with a chocolate taco.
Like a similar one.
Yes. It's
Just
just like
they could. I guess
yes.
they could. Somebody could easily pick that
Yes.
up and get all the sales.
Yes.
That would be smart as shit.
And everyone loves fucking ice cream
I was
and
like,
tacos.
True. I do love some tacos.
Literally
goddamn.
everyone loves tacos
Dude,
and
I
ice
was
cream.
actually thinking about making some.
What the fuck are we doing here? Why
Let's go make
what
some
are
right
we
now.
doing? Let's make chocolate tacos
Taco
right
time.
now. Yeah,
All right, cool. So we're gonna end the podcast now. No, I'm kidding.
exactly.
No, but dude, no, it's crazy that they're just getting rid of stuff. But the Twinkie thing, I have to go back to the Twinkie thing because I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't really remember a time that I saw somebody go into a store and purchase Twinkies to eat them.
I have,
Like,
but I
I
never
don't, like,
finished them. But I was so high. Again, it was like I couldn't be around humans when I was in the state of mind to buy a Twinkie.
you and the wolves. It's
100%.
you and the wolves.
It's me, because if I'm buying Twinkie, that means I'm also buying probably like Vienna sausages, some fucking
Okay, those are
Funyuns.
kind of good. Like
They're the most processed, horrific shit ever,
It's
and they're
so
so
bad. Yes,
good.
they're horrible
It's
for
like
you.
a Jack in the Box taco. They're so fucking disgusting that they're good. Like
they're
who
good
puts-
when you're drunk.
Yes,
They're
yeah.
only good when you're drunk.
No,
Do not
yes.
eat them sober because you
They're-
will be regretting life.
But honestly, like that's why I don't drink that much anymore, because I think that one of the reasons why I felt so bad the next morning, on top of like the mass amounts of alcohol and drugs and like other horrific decisions that I was
Besides
making.
all of that.
Yeah, and like waking up and God knows where.
just had to
But
be
then
this
like
one
the
thing.
food and shit that I would eat. Like when I would get drunk, I would just eat horrific combos. Pizza,
Oh, you know
Taco Bell. Like it gives me the munchies more than weed does alcohol.
Okay,
alcohol
you know
makes
what?
me get
the drunk
arrested and
munchies.
fat.
That's what it's called. The drunk
Yeah.
munchies. That's what I called it at least. My favorite thing, I ain't even gonna lie to you. So I would go out to the club, get fucking plastered. I be drunk as shit. 2:00 comes around. I'm going to either Jack in the Box or I'm going to fucking Jack in the Box or what's the other thing that's Filiberto's.
Oh, Philly beans.
Bro, some carne asada fries when you're
Some
drunk as
Philly
shit right after the
beans,
club, and then I would
yep.
go home and I bullshit you not. This is back when Discovery Channel at late at night used to just play like the animals just fucking each other up.
yes.
Just like hunting and
The
just like
David
killing.
Attenborough
I
stuff.
bullshit you not, bro. I used to sit there drunk as shit, eating my fucking carne asada fries and just watching these animals just fuck each other up. I don't know why that was my thing.
Sounds like a good night.
It was
honestly.
great, dude.
Dude,
And then
the-
when I was leaving the club, I always loved to play. And I'm gonna be honest with you. So I would be wilding out in the club. Like I'm a dancer. Like I love to dance. I just dance all fucking night. Sweating my ass off, burn like 3,000 calories. I'll get in the car and instead of bumping like some more hype shit, I'll listen to jazz music. I just need something to
instant
calm me the
calm
fuck down. Like something to
Instant-
just bring me down. Like and I'm just sitting there in the car like.
It's like you walking a lap after your workout. You just had to like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you gotta calm down because I was hyping shit in the club. I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, fuck
Oh,
you,
I see. I
nigga.
still kept that
You know what I'm
energy.
saying?
I like that you had like, you're like on the same page as my dad, because like my dad, I grew up. Well, that's good though, because my dad's dope. Like my dad, I think I've told you, is like a Nordstrom's secret super, member. Like he loves all that bougie shit, but his favorite cigar is a Swisher Sweet Grape, and he really smokes a Swisher Sweet Grape, and his favorite beer is Mickey's malt liquor.
And this is what I find weird. Who the fuck is buying Swishers and actually smoking them?
My dad.
That's what's weird. When you told me that, I was like, what?
He doesn't
actually smokes them?
He gets grossed out going into Walmart, but he smokes fucking Swisher Sweets and drinks malt liquor.
Wow.
It's weird.
I will say Swisher Sweets do have a lot of good flavor, but I think the more shocking thing, because I don't even think Swisher Sweets expects people to smoke.
No, I told him that.
They really sell them for other things. We won't say.
I said, well, weed's legal now. I told my dad, you're the only one smoking that with tobacco inside.
If somebody saw him with a Swisher, they probably thinking he probably goes there and buys, and they probably thinking, man, this guy smokes a lot of weed.
Here's the best part. Envision this.
Really
envision like a white guy, he's like 190 pounds, skinny white guy, driving like a Genesis and then smoking Swisher Sweets and drinking Mickey's malt liquor.
Wait, he's driving while he's doing
Well, he doesn't necessarily. No, not the Mickey's malt liquor.
Hold on now. I'm like, well, that man knows how to party.
Not the Mickey's malt liquor. But the Swisher for sure. And yeah, no, I don't even know how we got on that topic, but yes, I love it. It was good. That's why. Oh, because I grew up with my parents, and my dad was a very eclectic guy. He listened to ZZ Top. He listened to Stevie Wonder. He listened to, like, my parents' song, like their song is a Stevie Wonder song. It's I Just Called to Say I Love You. So I grew up with Stevie Wonder. It's a good ass song. I grew up like Stevie Wonder, all that stuff. But my dad was like you, where you'd be in the club's hype, I would leave, and I would still want, like, I'm still throwing on King Von, you know what I mean? I want to keep going crazy.
You want to just be hyped as shit
all the
night.
time.
It's like, fuck
Whereas my
y'all.
dad would listen to, like, Alice in Chains and, like, Everlast, and he'd listen to that, and then all of a sudden he'd throw on Gershwin, or he'd throw on, like, fucking Kenny G. And you'll go into my dad's, he's got, like, third, fourth song, it'd be like some jazz at a reasonable volume.
Damn,
just
Everlast,
like,
though? That's my shit.
Everlast, he loved Everlast.
He had that one good song. I will say he had that one good song.
Whitey Ford, that one Whitey Ford album. It was a great. Ends was on there. That was the good song. Ends.
This is the one thing I will say. So, I will say that the 90s, in my opinion, had the best. It was like the last time I felt like where all genres were just hitting.
Yeah.
Everybody in any genre. I don't care if you were doing rock music, pop music, rap music.
And it was rigid genres.
It was, yes, everybody was doing their thing in their own right. Like if you were doing rock, you were killing it. If you were rap, you were killing it. And it was because I felt like it was because the industry allowed more people to be who they really are. Back in the 90s, they allowed the artists to be who they were, whereas now it's super manufactured.
Well,
like you gotta fit to a degree. It's starting. I mean,
you have more exposure now, because that's what I was thinking about. Like, think about this. Like, if the 90s rappers, like the prolific ones that we think of, I was thinking about one of the crazy scenarios. There's like a folklore, and I don't know if it's true or not, so you guys can like look it up, but apparently in high school, Jay-Z, Busta Rhymes, and DMX and Biggie like would battle each other, right?
During lunch.
Right, during lunch. And I think one of them, only 3 of them went to school together. One of them would like come and battle. But either way, the fact that those 4 legends... I think Biggie was
the one that was in the other school.
Yeah, that was in the other school.
The other
fact
3
that
went
those
to school together.
4 legends just happened to organically bloom and come out of where they did. In the 90s, we didn't have the internet. It was organic mixtapes. It was selling actual cassettes and CDs like out of your car.
It was the radio.
Mouth.
I'm gonna be honest. The radio was huge.
The radio
it was really big.
Played, and now anybody can upload to SoundCloud. You know what I mean? Like to a degree, you're right. You still have what the radio is playing and big corporations are doing that.
I'm not talking about artists coming out. I'm just saying the ones that are actually signed to labels that are putting out music. I was just saying that all of them were just like hitting on all cylinders. Everybody was doing their thing. And whereas now there's a lot of people who are signed to labels and you're like, they're trash.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you're like, why did you get a deal?
And you're right, because back then it was rigid genres too. You didn't have like what we talked about last time with MGK switching over to rock, or Lil Wayne when he switched over to rock for a little bit. The only crossover you had was like Run DMC and Aerosmith.
You forgetting about Jay-Z and
Jay-Z and Linkin Park.
Jay-Z
and Linkin
Park.
That
was really good.
And Jay-Z and that one DJ mixed did the Grey album. was
mean
Danger
the Black
Mouse.
Album?
So it was the Black Album, and then they mixed it with the
Oh, that's
Beatles' White
right,
Album.
The White Album. They called it the Gray Album.
The Grey
I remember
album.
that.
That
You're
shit was
absolutely
dope.
right.
And then I used to have a mixtape. This was like that's why I miss the days of not only Tower Records going through and doing that, but I missed the very first like Napster and Morpheus and Kazaa days where you would discover new music, because that's where I discovered. I had this mixtape called From Blue Eyes to Bed-Stuy, and it was Frank Sinatra, who's one of my favorite artists of all time, mixed with Biggie. And it would be like
Oh yeah, you found a lot of those weird like mixes back in the day.
So good.
But LimeWire's back though, just so you know.
Really?
They sell NFTs now. Bullshit you not. They have a whole ad for it.
Honestly,
LimeWire is back.
That ruined my fucking day.
Dude, LimeWire is back, and they're selling. And it's funny because everybody was like, "Well, it wasn't LimeWire a way to steal stuff, but now they're gonna sell you NFTs."
They're all made up anyway.
Interesting,
The world's
right. Moving on. You're single, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I had stop.
All right.
You
Yeah.
are single.
Yeah, I am.
So I found a great article for you. So
Okay.
there is the top places to move if you're single.
Does
I
it
got a
matter
list of
as
the top
like
cities.
a straight single guy, or just if you're single?
If you're
period?
single in general, this is
Okay.
for singles.
All right.
So I
Because
got.
I know I lived in Denver. It was like 3-1.
Guess what
guys.
the number one city was? You won't even be able to guess it. I guarantee you won't be able to guess it.
Iowa City, Iowa.
City?
Iowa
Iowa's
City.
not a city.
No,
oh, you
Iowa
said
City.
Iowa. Okay, I was like, what?
Because honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I recovered quick on that one because when I said Iowa at first, I was like, "That's not a fucking city, that's a state." And then I
fucking knew
quickly remembered in my geography that there is a fucking Iowa City,
He recovered.
and so I
bounced
recovered
back.
very quickly.
I
Boom.
like that.
All right, sorry. What's-
Wichita.
Kansas?
Wichita, Kansas. Now, I will say this.
What?
One of the factoring things that they put into this was the affordability of the apartments, like in these cities. Okay,
So I'm gonna be able to fuck a ton of broke people.
I will tell you. Guess what the typical rent is in Wichita right now?
Probably like $600.
$966.
Oh, no. Oh, really?
$966. That's the
Okay.
average. Now hold on. Now we get to number 2. Austin, Texas.
I can see that.
I
Austin's
see
dope.
that. I see Austin on
Austin's
a
dope.
list all the time
Yeah,
for singles. I
Austin's
heard it's a
dope.
great city for singles. But guess what their typical rent is?
Way higher.
Theirs jumps up to
I was gonna say
$1,869.
2,000.
So
yeah.
you went from $966 to 19 something. Like, holy shit.
Yep.
So we got number 3, Milwaukee.
Because you're getting hammered all the time.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, he got an excuse for
Yep.
it. Denver, number 4.
Okay, I lived in Denver, and Denver is a dope city to be single in.
wanna go so bad.
I love
I
there. I was
cannot
there
wait.
for like 3 years, but there's more dudes there. It's like a 3-to-1 ratio of guys to girls, and so
it's not like
I will
Atlanta.
say though that the girls were dope. Like I grew up so spoiled. Like you grew up in Chicago,
kidding.
but like I grew up.
I grew up a lot of places.
You grew up
Actually,
a lot of places.
I'm from Chicago.
Okay,
Watch
yeah,
your mouth.
but I grew up in North Scottsdale, and so as you know,
That's
living
it?
here, Scottsdale's just full of beautiful people. And then I left Scottsdale, went to LA for a year. Right, again, another place full of beautiful people. Not that Denver didn't have
manufactured
beautiful people there. Yeah, manufactured or not, still beautiful. But when you go to Denver, it's definitely more natural girls. They're a little bit more laid back. It was cool. I lived
So
with
no fake asses? No, I'm joking.
no
There
fake
probably
asses.
is. Yeah, right.
No, more hiking, like granola ass girls. But I also I had a lot of different friends out there because I lived with 2 lesbians when I lived in Denver, so I got to see wild shit. Yeah, I got to go.
Oh, you got to like see the endeavor?
I went to no, not that, not so much that, but I definitely got to. I went to Pride Day on Pride weekend on Lesbian Day with like 18 lesbians.
Of course you did.
It was awesome.
I know it was. I
It
guess.
was awesome.
I bet.
You know what? I'm an ally. All right. So I was privy to some things being with 18 lesbians that I probably wouldn't have been privy to as a straight white guy walking around that day. So it was cool.
True. Well, the
And,
good thing
dude,
is a lot of these cities are not bad. They're not far from you.
No, but Denver's awesome. Great food city, great bars.
I wanna
but
go there
it's
for the weed.
expensive as shit. The weed is amazing. The weed's amazing.
Okay, so we got San Antonio. There's a few Texas places on here. Like Texas
Yeah.
seems to be the spot.
Yeah.
San Antonio, then it goes Houston,
I'd go to Houston.
then
first.
Dallas. Like
Yeah.
these are all like consecutive.
That's weird that San Antonio would be before Dallas or Houston, but okay.
Why do you say that?
Because I know people that live in Dallas, and it looks like it's kind of Scottsdale-y out there. There's definitely like a, and then Houston just has culture to it.
Well,
San
again, it's based
Antonio-
off of the rents. So when you said which one did you say you were surprised it came
San Antonio would probably be the cheapest. That's why
it is. Yeah. It's $14.69 in San Antonio. Dallas is $17.91.
Yep, that makes sense.
These are also, I forgot to tell you, these prices are for one bedrooms.
Yeah,
just for a one bedroom apartment,
I
bro.
pay $1,500 and I overlook the freeway. And here's the deal. Here's the worst part. I've known these, like, I'm from, like, where I live now. Like, bro, fun fact, I definitely lost my virginity at 17 in the same apartment complex that I live in now, right? So it has aged, okay?
Wow.
So it's good.
Full
it's got
circle?
some full circle. It's got some good vibes there, right? But all I'm saying is, when I was 17, I know how much those fucking same apartments cost, and they were like $765. Now, granted,
of course, yeah.
Granted, this is back in 03, but still, I think even in when I left Arizona in 2014, 2015, I had an apartment in Old Town, a one-bedroom, nice-ass little one-bedroom condo. It was like $775.
Oh, yeah. Shit didn't start getting crazy until the pandemic. Until 2020.
Yes. I'm like,
that's when everything started happening. Everything was cool here until 2020. 2020 fucked up everything. We all know that. The next one is Seattle.
Have you ever? I'd like to go to Seattle now, but
listen to the jump though in the rents. So Dallas was number 7 at $17.91. Guess what the rent is?
$2,300 at least.
Bro, you're super close. $2,260.
Yes, I was
like
gonna
it
say.
Literally jumped from that to that.
Yep.
Oh, and it only gets worse because then you got Washington D.C. Oh, we all know Washington D.C. is high as shit. That's $2,231. And then the last one on the list, number 10, good old Boston.
Okay.
Boston.
It's like a historical, cool city.
I want to go to Boston just to talk to people because their accents are cool as shit. I ain't even gonna lie. I love the beer commercials from
Sam
Boston.
Adams, yep.
The Sam Adams
cousin
dude,
from Boston.
That motherfucker is hilarious, bro. Like, cause it's real shit. I like their accents. I just want to talk to them and just listen to them.
To be honest though, Boston doesn't have a real good reputation as far as like
race relations. You know what? I've heard that. Like, but
hey,
I will
you know
say
what?
This.
You and I should go to Boston.
But this is what I
mean?
say though, bro. Now here's the thing about me. I have gone into racist arenas and done okay.
Okay.
And I think it's because of how I carry myself. First, I'm not easily offended by it because I'm like I said, I almost expect it. So at this point, I'm just like, okay, so y'all racist. Okay, moving on. So it's like I'm chill about it, and they see that, oh, like he's not this whatever the fuck they think black people are, or what they have this image of us.
Right.
And they're like, oh, he's, just a cool human being, which is how we should all look at each other, really. Yeah. And that's what usually happens. So honestly, I would still go to fucking Boston.
But no, yeah, you should.
You want to throw down?
It's
Let's do it.
It's 2022. Like
it's 2022. I'll still go out there shoot. And if not, I'll just bust a cap. It's cool.
Yes.
Bust a cap.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, I had an argument with somebody. Oh wait,
you had an argument?
I had an argument with somebody. And somebody said, okay, the term dapping up, right? You know what that is, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay. That's not a new term.
No.
Thank you. I just want hey, Garrett, not a fucking new term, all right?
What? Somebody thought that was...
I had to explain to him what dapping... I was like, bro, we've been doing it since we were 13. I go, I've dapped you up since we were 13. He's like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
He's like, man, that's gay.
Bro, it's I swear to God, as soon as my friends started to have kids, they turned so old. And it's just like... I'm like, bro, what happened to you? Like, you showed me who Brother Lynch hung and Tupac were. How do you not know what dapping up is? Like, give me a break. I mean,
some people just miss things, bro.
But back to the single thing, I have a good Hinge story, okay? And it's from a friend of mine. And we're going to keep it, I promised her I'd keep it anonymous, but it was too good. We're never going to really talk about the good experiences any of us have on Hinge, okay? We'll keep that shit on the hush. But the bad experiences, I think, are fun. Okay?
On Hinge?
So, on Hinge.
Is that the
Tinder,
app?
Yeah, Hinge, Tinder,
Oh,
Bumble.
that's what you were talking about. I was like,
you're
Hinge.
not.
I kept hearing
you're
you
not
say
single,
that.
so you don't know.
Oh, but I know what Hinge is.
Bro,
It's that app that they say you're supposed to delete. Like its
no,
purpose
I think
is
that's
to
like
delete
plenty of fish. I don't know. I have
that's the
fucking
one.
4 of them. There's so many. There's Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, whatever. So my friend goes on a Hinge. She gets matched on Hinge, right? And I already told her first red flags. He's a white dude and he kept calling her Shouty, and he's from Arizona. I'm like, no, please don't do that. But she went. Yeah. So she gets a text from this guy, and his plan for the date was, hey, let me come over. We'll smoke. Okay, cool. And then you can jump in my car and do some door dashes with me. And then we'll go back to your place and smoke some more. Now, obviously, she didn't do this, But the confidence in which this guy asked,
Wow.
I have to admit that it's worked before. Like, I feel like there's probably girls that have done that with him.
I feel like, yeah, there would be. I feel like there are those, like, there's some women out there that's like,
fuck am I doing? Like, how am I still single? And this guy is out there.
Because you don't want to be with nobody.
I bet it's, bro, I'm telling you, the way he delivered it, I'm like, that's worked. I guarantee you that's worked for this guy.
Yeah, I mean, but has it? We don't know. Because, I mean, it could not work. Maybe he was just shooting his shot and trying to see what might happen because, think about this, there's guys that will send a dick pic. Yeah, doesn't get them anywhere, but dudes still think it's okay to send it for whatever reason they think it's going to work. So it may not work, but I feel like there would be some girls out there that would actually think that was cool. I think so.
Yeah.
Because it's different. It's different than like your typical, and especially, I don't know, if you're talking about smoking weed and stuff, I guess they're going to be like.
I guess it would.
But I hear what you're saying. Like, why would you lead with that? Like,
that's a wild first date.
That's really, that's not something that you would typically say, hey, let's go do this. Like, I see what you're saying on that. So that is really weird. So what was her response to that?
No, she did not go.
So wait, did she leave him on red? I mean, did she say anything back?
Yeah, I think she left him on red, and then he texted her the next day and was like, or not, or something.
He got the message.
Yeah,
he was like, damn.
I'm like,
he's sitting by the phone looking at it too, like, nothing. Okay, fine.
Yeah, no, it's weird.
We have gone. We're doing quite good on time, man. I like it. I mean, we could come to an ending. We could end it on a happy note.
Here's what I want to end it on a sort of happy note, but an important note.
Sort of happy. Okay, well, you ended on that.
I went through it the last couple weeks since our last podcast. And I know in our last podcast we talked about mental health, and I think it's important again to talk about that. I fuck with Pete Davidson hard. I've told you about that. I don't know if I've said. I know you don't like him, but
it's not that I don't like him. I'll give you my synopsis. I'll give you my thing on it once you say your thing.
I respect the fact that he's very open with his mental health struggles, and like his movie King of Staten Island. If you've never seen it, it's a great fucking movie, but I identified a lot with it. There's a lot of stuff. I'm not as crazy. I haven't been like as suicidal as he was, but I've struggled with mental health a lot in my life, addiction a lot in my life, and he was on, and I think we touched on this on one of our previous episodes or talked about it, but he was on a interview with Charlemagne, and it was just talking about his mental health, and he knows his check marks. He knows that like he has to get up, he has to get a certain amount of sunlight, has to get some physical activity done.
He's a plant.
He has a plan, and he knows what.
No, I said he's a plant.
Plants, right? Basically, yes.
He needs to get sunlight,
water. But no, and so he knows what to do, and I've told you about this, that I started in therapy when I was really, really young, and one of the good things that it taught me was self-awareness and things to do, and so I do the same things that Pete Davidson would do, where these last couple weeks I had a bunch of great news, and you know, outside in my outside life there's some changes potentially coming up, and they're all good changes,
right.
But with that anxiety comes depression with me, and I just literally had impending hopeless doom with a bunch of good shit coming up, right? Like our podcast I think is doing great. Even if it's not doing great, I love that we're doing it. It's an artistic expression.
You guys have been awesome.
You guys have been awesome. I just want to say that,
like, you guys, we love it.
Everything is going great in my life right now, and I recognize that it was just my depression that was keeping me down, and so I had to go and do my check marks. I went and did bleachers yesterday. I did like 80 push-ups. I did bleachers again this morning. I'm making it a point to like go out, and so I have it written down here, like, get better coping mechanisms. Everybody, let's recognize, like, I used to go out and do drugs, or I would commit crimes because I got that adrenaline rush, and then you get money for drugs mostly, is what my coping mechanism was. And then once I outgrew that, it went to food, which is how I got to 366 pounds, a 5XL shirt, almost death. You know, like the things that we talked about, people last time who, once you hit a certain age, I felt like when I was 30, I became a little bit more confident in myself. And you had mentioned that, you know, in a sense, but some people are stuck kind of in that.
Yes.
I made a comment where it's like those people need to conquer certain things, and I'm standing by that because I've told you before that I grew up in a very privileged upbringing, right? If my life was a video game, I had easy mode. I had anything and everything I could ask for. My parents are very well off, both in connections too. Like I could have gotten any job and any of this. And subconsciously, I think when I was about 13, I decided, let's make this shit as fucking hard as I possibly can. You know what I mean? Because I then I started doing drugs at 13, started getting into criminal activity, I'll just say, and a bunch of stuff that it made my life so much harder. And I'm looking at like one of my nephews right now who's getting into trouble, and that's all I tell him is, I remember being your age and hearing people my age tell me shit, and I'd be like, whatever, guy. But like, it made my life so much harder. I'm so glad that I went through those things. Looking back now, because again, back to conquering stuff, it has given me different perspective. It's given me more empathy. It's given me strength to look back. And like when you're on easy mode, part of the reason why I think like there's such a big thing, we talked about white people having, everybody has mental problems and health problems, but I think one of the things that I dealt with growing up is like I knew I was privileged. I knew I had nothing to be miserable about, yet I was miserable, and it fed into that guilt and stuff. And so I used unhealthy coping mechanisms. It was drugs, it was food, it was anything and everything that you could think of. And so I just want to pound out the point that like, let's as a whole, as a community, as a generation, whatever the fuck it is, like find healthier coping mechanisms, because it does get better each day. I promise you. I'm not an AA, super proponent. It definitely works. It's just not my thing. I don't count days, like I said in the last time, because it fucks with your head, but it works for some people. And I think you just need to find those good coping mechanisms to make sure that we are around for as long as we can be. Life is short, fragile, and it can be fucked up. Let's make it as fun and great as possible. And so I worked out some shit this weekend, and so I wanted to end it. That can still be positive note, you know what I mean? But I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that, you're not alone out here. Shit gets wild, even for people that from the outside looking in, it looks like everything's great, grand, and wonderful. So we love all you guys. Keep it up. Keep reaching out, letting us know what you like, what you don't like, and I think that was pretty much it for me.
Okay. Well, he said what he had to say. All right, cool bean. No, that was great, man. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that you sharing that, because people need to hear that. I mean, it's a good thing that. A lot of times when people hear that somebody else is going through something that they're going through or something similar, it helps them get through it, and it helps them feel like they're not alone.
Absolutely.
So I can appreciate that.
Communicate with your friends, find those good outlets, find a therapist. I know I have good friends that I can say out-of-pocket wild shit to, and they're not going to call someone. Like I literally had a friend, I called him yesterday. I was like, I called you yesterday. I was like, because I was ready to just, drive off a cliff. And he goes, well, I'm glad you didn't. You know what I mean? And so it's like, we were both joking, and I wasn't really going to drive off a cliff, but it's in that same mindset where when you grow up with depression for so long, you get in that thing. And it's like, I'm so lucky to have the network of people that I do, my friends and family, where I have so many people that I can call and just be like, yo, I'm struggling a little bit right now, and they'll be like, come over, sit on my couch, like do whatever the fuck you need to. So
that's good shit, man.
Be a friend to people, because you never know what the fuck people are going through. You know what I mean? So
very cool. Yeah. So I do want to end this. I'm gonna end this in a different way. Actually, I'm gonna leave you with a little tidbit, a little special information. Did you know that the prayer hands is a misused emoji? They're actually not prayer hands. It's two people giving a high five.
Well, then
that's your tidbit to know. And with that being said, thank you for coming to the podcast. Thank you for listening. Mull that over. No, I'm dead serious. They're not actual prayer hands. They're actually supposed to be two people.
Then there should be a black hand and a white hand. Stop it.
They probably could do that, but
and
I'm
then
just
that could be our fucking logo. Just like that white hand, black hand, like
you gotta leave it there. Let's see, emoji.
Dude.
So yes, I wanted to leave you guys with that. I don't know why. I just wanted to tell you that because it blew my mind. I really thought they were prayer hands this whole fucking time.
My mom thought the shit emoji was chocolate ice cream.
I hate when people think that. Why do you think that? Like when I see it.
To be fair, she's like, well, why does shit have a happy face?
Because it's some shit to do. Like, why would you put a smiley face on shit?
More happy?
I mean, but also it's more funny to put a happy face on shit.
Again,
like,
again, you'd have to know my mom, but yeah. My mom needs to, by the way, I did have a bunch of people based off like the text. I'm sure you saw the text reviews of my mom like calling me out on like factual shit.
I actually didn't. But.
Okay, well my mom's a force to be reckoned with, and so she loves our podcast, but she was like, when I talked about like pink nipple, white nipple, or brown nipple, white people, you know, all that shit. She was like, I have some things I'm gonna send you. I'm like, please don't send me anything on that. Like, or
well, if you
anything,
want to, we'll see.
But
well, we may talk about them. You never know. She might see something good.
She might need to be a guest on here, to be honest. My mom is
Oh,
wild.
goodness. Okay.
It could be wild.
Okay, well, I'm down. Maybe you might see. Hey, we will have guests on here eventually. So, you know, but at first you got to get to know us.
Yeah.
So until then, next time, I'm your boy HL. We just gonna go ahead and shut this down because we just going now. But we do appreciate your time. We do appreciate you guys listening. I'm HL.
I'm Alec. We love you guys.
This is also, we're gonna put it up. If you want to follow us on Instagram, it's T.M.G.podcast.
Yep.
I'm gonna put it up here somewhere.
Yeah,
and,
put them all up there. We got TikTok, we got YouTube.
YouTube.
We got Instagram.
Yeah, we're growing. We're growing.
We're gonna have Spotify here soon.
Hopefully soon, Spotify and Apple.
So we'll be on.
So we'll get on there. So we appreciate everybody's support. Everybody that's been listening, please continue to share the links. Continue to put it out there. We want people to listen to this shit. We want to bring the world together in a weird way. So with that being said, I'm Outie. We already said our name. So peace.
Later.
See ya.